Stay classy! With the majority of the Andover community planning to remain home for the next few months per school policy, many have turned to their pets for a source of company and entertainment. Teachers and students from Andover reflect on the time they spent in quarantine with their pets and share some of their favorite memories together. Here are live reporters Audrey Sun and Tang with the story.
Thank you. Danielle SARNO, class of 23, tells us about some of her favorite memories she has with her guinea pigs and how online school is affecting the amount of time she gets to play with them. Although online classes, homework, and extracurricular activities don't leave a lot of free time for the guinea pigs, she spends most of her time with them on the weekends.
My guinea pigs' names are Reese's and Cleo, and my sister named Cleo, so I'm not really sure why she named her that, but I named Reese's, who is like the brown and orange one, and I named her that because she looks like a Reese's cup. When we first got them, me and my sister would every day just come into my room with the guinea pigs. We both hold one, and just we'd sit there for hours until they fell asleep like on our laps. It isn't like a big moment, but like it was just really nice. I would definitely say I do not spend time with my guinea pigs during the week because with online classes and then homework and then just like hang out with my family or clubs and socializing, it's like I don't really have that much time. So I'd say I spend most of my time with them on the weekend.
Growing up on her family's farm in Dover, Massachusetts, Abby HEPPELMANN, 23, has spent her life caring for a variety of animals, ranging from dogs to cows to chickens.
Over the course of my lifetime, I've had chickens, pheasants, ducks, cows, and dogs, and so that's been a lot of fun raising them. Some of their names, my two dogs' names were Hunter and Lady, and one of my cows, her name was Champ, because she won the state fair for essentially how pretty she was, and you know, her bone structure and all that, so we named her Champ for champion. So that was pretty cool, and I had her for a long time. She is not with us anymore. And so basically they're beef cows. All my generations of my ancestors are all farmers, so this is kind of how we carry on the legacy, even though we're not professional farmers. Funny story I have for you guys is, this one's a little crazy, but I promise you it's true. So every once in a while a chicken gets sick of just laying eggs and having them taken away, so she decides that she's going to sit on them, and they sit on them for 21 days, and then if they're fertilized, they'll hatch. And so this chicken decided that she was going to sit on them, but you know, roosters are notoriously really mean. Sometimes they attack small children. I've been attacked by a rooster before. It wasn't fun. So we don't have any. And so the eggs are edible, but they'll never turn into chickens because they're not fertilized. And so, you know, she was sitting on these eggs and they were getting rotten, and that's really sad because she was just watching her eggs die and she was thinking that she was doing something wrong. And at the same time, we had a duck who was laying eggs, and those were fertilized because we had a male duck, but she had no interest on sitting on them. So we took the fertilized eggs from the duck and we put them under the chicken, and she sat on them for 28 days and she treated them like her own. And then on day 29, these ducks hatched out of these eggs that the chicken was sitting on. And so, you know, the duck was mortified that the chicken was its mother, and the chicken was mortified that the duck was its mother, but it was this really cool friendship and motherhood between a chicken and a duck, and that's just a really funny story to me. And I'm glad I got to witness that. It was really cool to see the chicken be a mother to an animal that wasn't hers. You know, it was really funny because ducks love water and chickens hate it. So she would go swimming, and then the mother would be like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" And that was really funny.
HEPPELMANN explains how her dog, Cinco, has been keeping her company while she has been taking classes at home.
So my duck is actually really enjoying spending a lot of time with me. Her name is Cinco, and she lives in this little pond in the woods, but she's our duck, and so I feed her every morning. And lately, she's been coming up to the window by my study space and kind of like quacking at me in the middle of my classes, asking me to give her some corn because she's hungry and she knows that I'm gonna come feed her if I have a free second. So she is definitely enjoying having me home as much as I'm enjoying seeing her, and she's getting a lot of extra snacks out of it.
On a similar note, AMELIA MEYER, class of 21, explains how her cat, Simone, helps to get her through her online classes, especially when she isn't as motivated.
She is a little shy. Here she is, my bae. Her name is Simone. She's a cat. She just showed up. She's super cool. I can't lie, I haven't been that excited for school, but it's fun when Simone is here because she'll just meow. I appreciate that.
Evelyn Lee, 23, talks about her adopted dog, Cosley, and going on walks with her during online classes. She also shares a memorable moment from when her dog escaped in a thunderstorm.
Okay, so I got my dog Cosley probably around like 6 or 5 years ago. She is a golden doodle, and we got her because she was originally like from her family's original owners could no longer take care of her because one of their family members got sick. So we took her in with us. We adopted her, and it's been great ever since then. During online learning, I definitely am spending so much more time with my dog. I like to take her on walk in the middle of my day so I can take a break from the Zoom screen. You can probably hear her barking right now. She loves to bark at squirrels. My favorite memory of Cosley is probably when she escaped our house in the middle of a thunderstorm. She like ran out and it was like pitch black at night and it was during a thunderstorm. But this sounds really scary and like not a good story, but it was good in the end because the way we got her back is, well, first we called the police because we didn't know what to do. But because the police came, Cosley came back to our house because she was interested in who the stranger was at our house. And then I fell on the ground. I pretended to fall on the ground and like fake cry to pretend that I was hurt. And Cosley was concerned about me, so she came sniffing to me. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I grabbed her. So I guess it is kind of bad that she ran out, but it's also good that she cares about like my well-being and the safety of our house.
And here's Dr. DAHM, instructor in history and social science, with her rescued dog, Ivy Jo. Let's take a closer look.
Hi, this is Ivy Jo. She's our dog. We got her, well, my husband got her about 7 years ago, and I met her 5 years ago when I met my husband. We didn't really choose her. She was a rescue, but we wouldn't want any other dog. She's the best. We're not really doing anything different. We're just lounging around a lot more with the dog. I think she's getting very codependent, so that's going to be interesting once we go back to work in person. But it's been nice. We've also taken her to the beach and just sort of taken her for a couple of little jaunts outside, which she's enjoyed. When we moved here from St. Louis, we drove with her in the car cross country, and everywhere we stopped, she'd sort of get out and sniff and get really excited. So that was kind of a special memory with our dog.
Next up, we have Adrian Lin, 22, and his pet Chinchilla. He weighs in.
My Chinchilla's name is Cotton Ball. I've had him for about 5 years now. We chose a Chinchilla primarily because we wanted a small animal that was lively and energetic, but not necessarily as big as a dog or a cat. So we got a Chinchilla. He's pretty active. He jumps around a lot, but he keeps us pretty good company. This year, now that school's online, I spend a good deal amount more time with him than I usually would on campus. Even though I'm a day student, I do spend most of my time on campus and not as much time as at home. So usually I wouldn't get to spend as much time letting him run around or playing with him. I do spend more time hanging out at his cage, just talking to him and comforting him. So I do that a few minutes before bedtime. I just sit there in front of his cage and pet him and try to talk to him.
Finally, here is SOMIN VIRMANI, class of 22, with the story of how his dog, a toy poodle named Shadow, became part of his life. During this remote semester, VIRMANI has especially enjoyed working with his dog nearby. VIRMANI also looks forward to more excursions and walks with Shadow in the coming months.
I'm here with my dog, Shadow. He's a toy poodle, and right now he's lying quietly and calmly on this fluffy blanket. We got to be a part of Shadow's life back in 2015. We've spent a bit of time with him now, and it's a funny story. We actually had family friends who were the owners of both Shadow and Shadow's toy poodle brother, whose name is Joey. But Shadow, he doesn't do well with other dogs. He needs more attention, and so he was actually clinically depressed in their house. I think the two dogs situation was not working for him, and so one time we were visiting our family friends, and when we were about to go, Shadow jumped into our car and wanted to go with us, and that was kind of like the first sign or the first step, if you will. And then soon after, we like tried spending a weekend with Shadow, and he seemed pretty happy. So we eventually became Shadow's owners. We took him on from our family friends, and we've been with him ever since. We love Shadow. And over quarantine and COVID time and staying at home in general, I actually have begun to spend more time with him. Like, for example, whenever I have reading assignments, I'll come onto the couch just like this and read with Shadow on a blanket next to me. And I'll even like bring up a side table to the couch and like work with that side table while Shadow's sitting next to me too, just so I can spend more time with him. And then my favorite memories with Shadow are probably when we go on like excursions. Like sometimes we're from Andover, Massachusetts, but we'll sometimes go before COVID time to like Maine and go to like beaches where dogs are welcome, or we'll go to like cliff walks with Shadow. And yeah, we love spending time with him. He likes walking. He's actually 12 or 13 years old now, but he's still walking, and so I look forward to spending more time with Shadow.
This is Audrey Sun
and Maya Tang reporting.